Alright guys, welcome back. Thank you for being patient with us as we got this next matchup set up between Psosa and NEOSTAR. I have a friend I've asked to join me in casting here, so say hello, Stark.
Hello, Stark.
Hello, Stark. So yeah, we got Stark here casting with me just to, liven things up a bit, add some more knowledge to the game.
And we got ZVZs till the end of time until research shows up.
Yes, that is true. Although there's only going to be two more. There's this series, and then there's a series between Ein and Tang, and then we got Research and Quang. So not too many ZVZs. Although we both play Zerg, so we should have at least some decent insight on the matchup. Or we've played.
Yeah,
Zerg.
I'm a bit of an infested Terran now, but I can still play Zerg. I can get.
And I'm interested in this matchup here because I haven't seen too much of NEOSTAR, but I have seen a few games. He's actually wrecked me once or twice in the past during peak mode, so he's definitely a good player here. I'm not sure if he can get on Psosa's level. That's why I'm interested to see this this matchup. So I'm actually just going to start off here by introducing first in the top left corner of King Sejong, the pink Zerg player, Captain Psosa.
My first time watching Psosa, actually. Interested to see how he plays.
You haven't seen like any of his gameplay before?
I saw his game against Nextflex earlier in the tournament.
Okay.
There's some impressive holds, but that's about it. You introing the last one, or shall
I? You could do that.
Okay. And in the bottom right-hand corner of King Sejong, we have the green Zerg player, all in NEOSTAR.
ZVZ here. I think Psosa, I mean, should something poor happen in your next matchup, every matchup for Psosa this tournament will be ZVZ. So
yeah,
it's kind of interesting.
Actually, he might play Research.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, that is true. But his ZVZ is shown to be very, very good. I remember watching his games against Nextflex, which was pretty much the #1 matchup of round one. He just he would pull these defenses out of his ass pretty much, it seemed like, because it was like it really looked like Nexus was going to be able to kill him, and then all of a sudden just like these little micro tricks were able to keep Psosa not only in the game but turn out to be way ahead after the attack finished.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if that carries through to this series. Although we do have NEOSTAR with the slight build order lead. He's going hatch first against a gasless pool, but that's probably only making a difference at like pro levels.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Psosa is definitely trying. He's trying to get on that level. He's been laddering so much lately, and I know that he's top diamond, starting to face some master players, and even starting to beat some of them as well. So,
awesome. Good for him.
Yeah, he's been doing really well. Almost too well. We need to keep him around for CTL.
Well, you can start training up some of our lower leaguers as well.
Yeah, that's true.
The next interesting development of this game, we have the first gas being taken by NEOSTAR, so he's going to have the first opportunity to be putting on aggression. Maybe just speedlings, he could be using banelings, or quicker into roaches.
Well, the one thing that I have seen in my experience on the ladder in ZVZ is basically if the Zerg player who gets the gas first, he generally goes for like this massive speedling attack. But that's in the Plat League, at least. That's what I've been seeing. But I like the idea behind it because it's pretty much designed to hit before roaches. So if you're expecting your opponent to go roaches, and he doesn't have a proper wall off with queens and evo chambers, then you could do a crap ton of damage to him with all the speedlings you attack him with.
Yeah, that's true, but we also have Psosa taking a delayed gas. This is going to get him enough gas to get an emergency baning nest out in time if he needs it, but I would imagine he has the goal of transitioning into roaches with this game. This gas is just a just-in-case measure, I'd say.
Yeah, and Psosa did have a couple links in NEOSTAR's base. He managed to pick off a drone, and baneling nest going down for NEOSTAR as I say that.
So we're going to have to see if Psosa catches wind of that.
Yeah, it was nicely timed on the drop there after the two lings were dead. He's still making a couple drones here, so it doesn't look like he's going to be completely all in on his attack.
Yeah, we do have the spine crawler coming down for Psosa, and is this going to be a baneling? No, we're going to have an evolution chamber. Going to start walling off here, do you think?
It seems to be so. He definitely knows about the gas for NEOSTAR, so he knows speed is going to be done. But the interesting thing behind this is NEOSTAR is actually just droning up. So, you know, early Baneling Nest, early speed, but he's not really going to be attacking with it. Does have a few lings on the map, but with that spine crawler in place and those queens, not really going to be able to get too much done.
Yeah, the NEOSTAR just poked his head in and was like, okay, I'm not going to commit into that. Maybe he would have done if he didn't see the spine crawler. Maybe he would have gone full wings, but both players just pulling back, getting up their layer. Looks like we're going to have some roach on roach action.
Yeah, most likely here. NEOSTAR has the slight drone lead at the moment, but he doesn't have a roach warren down yet, so if that is going to be the case, he's going to be pretty behind on that.
Yeah, the reason why I'm thinking NEOSTAR will also go roaches is he's not taking his gases in his natural yet, and if he wanted to throw down a quick spire, he's not going to have much gas for the muted. Could afford a spire right now, but
yeah, but by the time it's done,
mutas.
Yeah, you're right. You need to you can't do mutas on 2 gas. It's like unless you only want 2 or 3 of them, you're not going to really be able to sustain that type of army. Dropping 1 more, and I think you're right. He probably does have plans. Okay, well as I say that, there's a spire.
He is going to go for the spire. Okay, so we're going to have to see him save as much gas as possible. Even these 2 Banelings is half a Mutalist he's not going to have in future.
Yeah, and with the roaches that are going to start being produced here by Psosa with +1 attack and speed, I definitely sense a large attack coming. I don't think there's going to be enough mutas at all to defend against the 20 or so roaches that are about to hit NEOSTAR in the face here in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna see this kind of awkward timing attack in ZVZ coming up, where it sounds really dumb to say this, but roaches beat mutas.
Oh yeah, totally. Unless you have like a large amount out of it, which in this case, he's only getting the 4th gas now. He's not going to have enough gas.
Yeah, these spine crawlers need to come down. I was about to say he needs like 5 or 6 spine crawlers, and we see the full 6 coming down to hold this.
Yeah, that's
okay
actually
to build because if you're going mutas anyway, you're spending all of your gas, so you're going to have minerals left over anyway. So it's totally fine to throw down the spines, but if you don't, you'll probably just die.
Yeah, and I was actually going to say,
sucks.
I really like that decision by NEOSTAR here. A good heads up play there. I guess he caught wind with an overlord or something. He definitely knows what's coming here. So that's a lot of spines, and I don't think Psosa will actually be able to break that.
Yeah, these spine crawlers went down just in time. Oh, that's some E-Hunt timing right there. They're finishing just as the roaches show up.
Oh yeah, totally. There's as many spine crawlers as there are roaches here. Now he's kind of sacrificing some links needlessly here. He could have just pulled back.
Yeah, I think Psosa should not run past these. That's very dangerous.
Yeah, he's
losing. This third base is going completely unnoticed.
Oh no, yeah, that's a rare mistake there made by Psosa. I'm pretty sure that probably wasn't the best decision. He does see the 3rd now though, so he knows what's up.
Wow, spore crawlers. That's really cool. I was thinking these drones he was bringing was a mistake, but he's going to build spores with them.
I don't think they're going to finish in time though.
Wow, that's some creative play right there, some #TLO play.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
The 3rd base will die.
Yeah, that's actually...
We have this awkward game here now.
Yeah, well now Psosa, his 3rd base is ahead, and I don't know how many times I've seen games where it's like he specializes in killing the 3rd while his 3rd is halfway done, and now he's going to be ahead in the base numbers, and his income is going to be ahead as well. Although he's going into roaches again, so possibly not. Maybe that's just for the larva.
Yeah, so we have this awkward moment where Psosa did take his 3rd base, and he's like, right, I've bought this 3rd base, I need to use it. But he also needs to build units to defend it. So it's like, which one do you do? Do you build units, or do you build drones? And in this case, he is making the right decision, but this 3rd base must go down anyway. It's going to be close.
Yeah, and he did do a good job here with the roaches. They're going to show up just in time here to save that 3rd base, so he's still going to have a lead here. Oh, the mutant count is kind of getting up there now. Enough to be a little bit scary and enough to pick off any sort of reinforcing roaches or anything like that. Although spores are in position here for Psosa, so I'm not too worried about them.
Yeah, these mutas can actually at the moment just sit directly between the natural and the 3rd base, and there's nothing to stop them. No drones can go in between, like no queens even could go in between. It's very dangerous. Hopefully Psosa manages to rectify this soon. We do see the Hydralisk then going down, so there's his response.
Yeah, and that 3rd base taking more damage. It's not going to be Oh, if that Spore goes down, those mutas will be able to kill off that third base.
That Spore, though, did kill 3 Mutalisks. That's insane. We do have some Confuses coming in as well. Oh my god, is he going to hold?
I don't know, that's so close. He's got... Oh, there it goes. I guess he was just... That one queen just didn't have enough energy.
Yeah, and we do have... the other awkward thing when playing against mutas is you always get supply block, because all of your overlords are out on the map thinking, yeah, okay, there's not going to be any risk involved, because mutas are, I think, quite uncommon nowadays. It's usually roach plays, so overlords are usually very aggressively spread, and then you lose all of them when the mutas pop. Really awkward, so...
Yeah, and NEOSTAR's been...
down 30 supply now.
I know, and that's the thing here. I at first, I was a little bit... I was kind of questioning NEOSTAR's... you know, continuing to make all these lings and sort of throw them into roaches here, but it's sort of, it's really working out for him because he was able to whittle down that third base, and it keeps Psosa on his toes whenever NEOSTAR's moving the mutas around, so I'm starting to like it now instead of not quite like it.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to do any more damage, though. Psosa is definitely locked down on these 2 bases. His third is actually pretty secure this time. There's a ton of roaches. The Hydralisks are coming out with range and +2. It's going to be a case of what does NEOSTAR want to do from here. Some people would go into Swarm Host, some Ultralisks. We're also seeing the Speed Banelings.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go into more of like a Baneling Muta play here, which could work, but he's going to have to... It's going to be hard to get those Baneling hits he wants on those Hydras.
Unless he's going to have to do some Zerg vs Terran style micro move, commanding the Banelings towards the Hydralisks. And
or unless
this is going to be a Terran player having to split.
Yeah, and now another cool thing that I think NEOSTAR could do is kind of sneak his Banelings around into the third, but it looks as though Psosa, at least right now, is more than ready for that. But
yeah, he's even spreading the creep, so he's got extra line of sight from that direction, from that ambush path, so he should have enough time to react accordingly.
Yeah, and due to Roaches and Hydras being more supply than Lings, we see Psosa grabbing the supply. Okay, well, he just had the supply lead. It's pretty even at the moment, but NEOSTAR's got quite the army here, so... I'd like to see him actually do something with it. It looks like instead he's going to take the 4th base and just use that army to defend.
Yeah. Still waiting to see for a transition from NEOSTAR. He has this map control. He knows Psosa isn't going to be moving out anytime soon until he's maxed even. So what is NEOSTAR going to do with this freedom he has? We do see the Wob one. Ah, here we go. Here's the Hive.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Infestation Pit was down, and we have melee attacks coming in. So it would be kind of cool, something that both you and I have talked about in the past, is if he switches to Ultras, that'd be kind of neat. Because
yeah, Ultras are especially nice against the Roaches. The Hydras, as long as they have a tank in front, are reasonably good. Oh, and then we see the ambush you were talking about. Psosa was fully prepared for that at his third base.
Yeah, more Banelings running in, and nice positioning here. I'm not even sure if that's intentional or not, but it was pretty perfect for Psosa. He didn't lose anything.
Yeah, it was good of NEOSTAR to try, and it was good of Psosa to have units there, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe he could have ran one in and checked and see if the coast was clear first, but nah.
Yeah, I think overall he lost like 8 to 10 Banelings instead of just the possible 1 or 2. Clearing out the creep here, which is just kind of cute play. But as long as he is active with these mutas on the map here, he's going to stay ahead of Psosa in terms of income at least. Because he's going to get that 4th base up, and that's what we want at this stage. If he can keep Psosa back.
Yeah, these 4th guys are going for a while. We have the bank also for NEOSTAR. He's saving up for some kind of high tech. I would assume at this stage it's going to be Ultralisks, because he's searching from his Spire, so he can't turn it into a Greater Spire.
Yeah, Banelings, oh my god, he just sent... Oh no, was that a fungal growth on the Banelings? Holy crap, he just killed like 12 Banelings with 1 or 2 Infestors here. I didn't even notice Infestors were on the map, and that was like a beautiful defense here by Psosa, and now NEOSTAR's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's got to buy time, he has to buy 2 minutes for these Ultralisks to pop. A full minute and 5 for the Ultralisk Cavern and 55 for the Ultralisk to be built. This is going to be really scary.
It is. Now, the one thing, though, Psosa doesn't have as many Roaches as he'd like here. There's a lot of Banelings being morphed in back at NEOSTAR's base. But with some key Fungals here, he's going to be able to catch those. But I don't know, that's a lot of Banelings.
It's a lot of Banelings, but with all these Overlords out on the map still, they're getting picked off by the Hydralisk. He's not going to be able to oh dear.
Oh, that was a great Baneling hit here by NEOSTAR. He still wasted a lot on the roaches, but he totally cleaned up that first attack.
Alright, well, scratch everything I said about this being scary anymore. NEOSTAR's held this attack really nicely, and he's going to have the Ultralisk follow-up as soon as he starts building up his mineral bank again.
Yeah, I don't think Psosa was ready for that many Banelings. His Hydras were all clumped up, and so many went down. Now NEOSTAR has a firm army advantage here, at least in my opinion.
Yeah, he's certainly got the edge in tech. The upgrades are still somewhat in favor of Psosa. You could make the case +2 missile attack with the 1 armor, but yeah. You see the Ultralisk coming down. This is scary time for Psosa. At least it's only 1 Ultralisk.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's not going in NEOSTAR's favor here. His income seems to be not as high as it should be. Psosa actually has a larger income. And NEOSTAR just threw away that Baneling Zergling army there. He didn't get any significant damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure the purpose of the attack there. Maybe if he was attacking the 4th base with the Mutas at the same time. I guess he does get the denial from all of the Hydra's kills with the Banelings, but...
He's picking off quite a few queens here too. He's going to be able to get all 3 that came out to attack. Oh, no, there's a nice transfuse there, so only 2 queens, but still nothing to sneeze at. Nice damage being done by NEOSTAR. His 4th base is fully saturated now, so the income is really going to start kicking in here, and the longer this goes on, the better it is for NEOSTAR. Oh, a Swarm Host coming out.
And the ironic thing is Swarm Hosts are being built. You say the longer it goes on, the better it is for NEOSTAR, and Psosa wants to make it a much longer game. That being said, Psosa is aware he doesn't have a 4th base and NEOSTAR does, so he needs to find some way to be more cost efficient, and Swarm Host is going to be an answer. But funny thing is, speed Banelings are very good against Locusts.
Yeah, but would you really want to be trading Banelings for Locusts, though?
Well, that's the thing. If you have a large army behind them, and you have enough Banelings, use the Banelings to bust through the Locusts, and then the Swarm Hosts are effectively useless army supply for 10 to 15 seconds, and then the stronger Zerg army just punches through.
That's totally true, actually. Yeah, you're right. So, especially if all the Locusts are spawning at the same time, which is the case here. But it looks like we do have some Banelings. There's lots of Ultras on the map now, and there's not quite enough Swarm Hosts, I don't think, to really defend this, but Psosa whittling out two Swarm Hosts here, 3 Swarm Hosts there. He's going to eventually have a large amount.
Speaking of a large amount, we have another 12 Museless on the map coming out soon, so this is getting very scary for Psosa. I'm not sure how he's going to make this hold.
Well, he's mined out of his main, he's starting to get mined out of his natural now, and the attack is coming in here. I'd like to see NEOSTAR wait a little bit longer, but I guess he was maxed out. So here come the Ultras, already on top of the Swarm Host here. And Swarm Hosts are starting to go down.
Swarm Hosts are going down, yeah, but these Spore Crawlers did a number on the Museless. There's like 2 or 3 left here.
Yeah, that's... See, and this is what I mean. Like, that attack looked like it was just going to wreck. But with these Spore Crawlers in amazing positions here, and now the Ultras are just going in 1 at a time. That's not really what we want. Like you said, he took out all the spores. Or, not all the spores, sorry, all the Swarm Hosts, although now there are more reinforcing. And Psosa really didn't take any direct damage from that. But
he's still like hemorrhaging pretty badly this game, though. He needs another fight to go like that, I think, for him to have an edge. He's still without a 4th base. He needs that 4th base, otherwise his money is just going to run out really soon. Even his natural's starting to get low.
Really nice decision, though, by Psosa to place this Spore over here by the rocks. Actually, you know what? It looks like the Mutas can still shoot those rocks anyway, so I guess that doesn't matter. But I like NEOSTAR's decision to take down these rocks and sort of open up some more alleyways to attack from. Really stretch those Swarm Hosts thin for Psosa. Although he's kind of
even against a small amount of Swarm Hosts, you do have to respect them. They do a hilarious amount of damage, and even though they are really strong, they're incredibly immobile. So even if you're very far ahead in supply, and you know you are, it's still good to take the necessary precautions to play against the Swarm Hosts. Even if you could just crash through, it's more about building the habits for the next game.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but also when you're ahead on income here, 5th base now going down for NEOSTAR as well. When you're this far ahead, I mean, you might as well just take your time, roam the map, open up attack routes, and just deny the 4th, and then, you know, eventually, Psosa's not going to have any money left.
Yeah.
Here comes another attack, though.
Again.
Yeah, and this time the Banelings are all right on top of the Swarmos there, causing so much damage, and now they're in the mineral line. This might be the end here for this game.
Yeah, this is looking pretty over. Let's see if Stormhost really are these miracle units that people describe them to be.
They do.
Even all the lava getting blown up in the main.
Yeah,
that's rough.
Wow, GG coming out from Psosa here, and that was, I have to say, that's a very surprising result.
We might have our first 2-1 of the tournament on our hands here.
It's possible for sure. And it was a really good game, nicely played by NEOSTAR. I love his decision making and how he kind of kept the lead. There's a couple moments where maybe some units got thrown away that didn't technically have to, but even still, well done.
Yeah, it was that moment where the Ultralisks were just about to be made from the Ultralisk cavern, and Psosa was like, yeah, I've got to go, and he did have to go. Mm-hmm. But the amount of Banelings that NEOSTAR made to hold there was amazing. Yeah. That's a difficult decision too, because you're like, I really don't want to make these Banelings, because if I do, my Ultralisk count's going to be so much lower. But if you don't make the Banelings, you might just die, and then who cares about how many Ultralisks you're going to make, because you're dead.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's funny how it proved, because I was a little skeptical about that at first, but your explanation made a lot of sense, and then we got to see it in action here as the Banelings sort of just cleaned up and opened up some space for the rest of NEOSTAR's army to move in. Also, I wonder
if we're going to see the Mutalist style again on this map.
Which map? Deadwing? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that on Deadwing?
There's certainly a lot of airspace to fly around and fly into the main, poke around, fly into the national, poke around. You can escape pretty easily from Hydras or Infestors tailing you, but we didn't necessarily see NEOSTAR use them as harassment units. Or he was harassing with the first group of mutas, and then he was just sort of using them with his army.
Yeah, which still worked out for him. That's because Psosa had really good Spore Crawler placement there for the most part. He was able to defend without having to actually pay attention. So it really helped him out there. I mean, Psosa still did a good job staying in that game for as long as he did. Swarm hosts are good for that. That's for sure. But anyway, that's I'm still really surprised with that result. I'm interested to see how the pink Zerg player in the bottom left corner of Deadwing will respond to that. It's all-ins Psosa.
In the top right corner of the map, up 1-0. A surprise to some people, maybe. It is all in NEOSTAR.
Yeah, and you know what? It's worth noting that I'm not trying to sound like I didn't think NEOSTAR had a chance. It's just that I think Psosa is so good that I just didn't think he could lose. So NEOSTAR has shown that he definitely has some game here, and he could be making a splash here.
You reckon we're going to see a quicker game here, a cheesier game maybe?
I don't know. Psosa chose Deadwing here. It seems like it's built to be the ultimate macro map, at least in my opinion. But then that being said, because of that, you can play some mind games, but no early pool or gas yet from Psosa.
Yeah, and we see NEOSTAR opening with the Drone Scout again. It looks like this is something he does every game, so that implies that he's also going to play the more macro-oriented game as he did in Game 1.
Yeah.
Sadly, he's scouting the wrong way there. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, well, he's also the only one scouting, so he's still going to get the earlier information.
We have the hatch first drone going out for Psosa this time, so he definitely wants to play... Well, he wants to play from a hatch first opening. You can still cheese off a hatch first opening. I'll retract what I was about to say.
That is true, actually. If I do cheese, I usually do it off of a hatch first opening. But anyway, we'll see though. I'm not sure. I don't think I've ever seen Psosa cheese, so it would be kind of a nice move for him here. So far, looking really standard though. Pool first.
Oh, we have NEOSTAR with the pool and then the gas. So this is a quick gas. Well, relatively quick compared to last game.
Yeah, definitely. And it's before that hatch, so you would imagine it's for aggression.
Yeah, he is going to go down and take that hatch. So he has the option to be aggressive if he wants to this game for NEOSTAR.
So in his...
just be playing super safe and thinking, yeah, I won that last game with my normal style. If I just play safe and make sure I don't die to anything dumb, I can win again.
Yeah, right, and
mindset
that's where I was going with that question is, do you think he would do it just for defense? And do you think it's worth it to do it just for defense, to grab that speed, but put yourself significantly behind economy-wise is what I'm trying to say.
I think if you're confident and you have evidence that you just won using your macro style in the previous game, then you could take the precautions to be a little bit safer because you'll just naturally find yourself ahead if you happen to be the better player.
Okay, yeah, I definitely understand that. Now, NEOSTAR is the only one with any sort of information as well. His drone is escaping and going back home, letting people know that he saw a gas, a pool, and an expansion here, so he knows that Zergling's speed is going to be a factor in this game. And generally,
we do see the Baneling Nest, the Baneling Nest going down for Psosa. Like I was mentioning in the previous game, he has the option to make that in case he thinks there's aggression coming. He's not getting Zergling speed. He's just using this for a defensive option.
Yeah, and it could be a good decision here with the speed coming down for NEOSTAR, but no Baneling Nest, at least no Baneling Nest yet. And is that a layer?
5-minute layer.
That's like super fast.
That's a 5-minute layer. Wow.
All right, so why is he getting a 5-minute layer? What's that
I'll
for?
give you the obvious answer. He wants really quick layer tech. The question is, what layer tech does he want so quickly?
That's what I was kind of getting at, because it looks like what would he get right now? Maybe drop a Baneling Nest and
both players are going quick layer.
That is insane.
What? Okay, I'll just saying this right now. I secretly hope that both players throw down Nidus networks and both players throw down Nidus worms in the back of each other's main. That would be amazing.
That would be pretty.
That's what I'm hoping for.
And you know what?
It's not going to happen, but I'm hoping for that.
I don't know. I mean, he can't drop a... Well, okay, we were saying that he couldn't drop a Spire last time as well, and in terms of NEOSTAR, and he did, and he pulled it off, but he's only got one mining gas right now, and the second one is just going to start mining now. All right, Lair's finished. What does he do with this?
Go on, Nidus network. Come on. Go on. Oh, it's a Spire.
Okay. So Spire.
Go on, Psosa, you can do it. You can do it, I believe. Nidus network. One time.
Let's see here.
Go on. Suspense. Got 200 gas. Here we go. Nidus network.
There are a few speedlings in the base here for Psosa, getting a full scout off.
Oh, okay.
They're going to see the lair as well.
Psosa is wisely waiting to build his tech before after these Zerglings leave the base. Here we go, and it is a it's a Spire as well.
A delayed Spire.
Well, I was hopeful. Oh well. So here we have an interesting set of developments. So both players are going Spire. Both players are going to try and take the third base. Here we see Psosa going out. It's going to get denied by this link. And then it's going to be a case of who can secure the third base quicker, because essentially it's 50% more production, 50% more gas. Which if you're both going mutas, that's a lot.
Oh yeah. And Psosa already had his 4 gases up before NEOSTAR even had 3, I believe. So he's going to have a gas lead, and he's got that third base. He actually was on his toes there with that drone, and he turned it into an extractor to save its life from that ling. So he actually didn't even lose that ling.
Yeah, I'm personally liking Psosa's position a lot more. For a couple of reasons. One, his third base is down, and he's got units aggressively on NEOSTAR side of the map, so he knows how many links he needs to make to defend. I don't mind that his Spire is later either, because NEOSTAR is getting the +1 attack upgrade, and it is 9 times out of 10 you want to get the armor upgrade in Muta versus Muta.
But I don't even think Psosa knows about the Spire yet. He hasn't even been inside the main yet, so he's going to find out now. And there's quite a few lings out here, and now mutas to help sort of defend them. Although they're not really doing that right now. They're shooting the hatchery here.
Yeah, so these mutas are going to be annoying for sure, but we see that even though Psosa's Spire was delayed, he's going to catch up right up in the muta count soon. It's, what is it, 2 against 7, but with the production tab, it's going to even out fairly quickly. So the fastest Spire doesn't give you so much apart from the upgrade, and we do see that NEOSTAR's turn is going to get completely denied here, not even cancelled, it's just killed.
Yeah, and that's what Psosa has to do here. It's kind of like a flip situation here. Psosa's got to be active with these links to kind of keep the mutas at home for NEOSTAR, so that Psosa can grab the muta count lead. Right now, he's a little behind in Mutas.
So we did see NEOSTAR throw down double Evos and a Roach Warren to wall off his natural there, and then he just cancelled his Roach Warren. I was thinking that's a very interesting play to go. It's almost back-teching towards Roaches, and then he cancels. Not sure what was going on there. Maybe he's thinking, okay, I lost my third, I need to do something. Because as we watch, Psosa is just going to explode in supply.
Oh yeah, the worker count here is in the lead is in Psosa's lead, although not by that much, not by as much as you would expect here. But
yeah, NEOSTAR knows he's in trouble. He's double expanding right now.
Yeah.
That's not saying I want 4 bases. That's saying one of these bases is going to be my third, and one of them is probably going to get denied. He's really trying to secure a third base by doing this, and if both bases go up, even better for him.
Oh yeah. Well, we got the muta count is starting to climb here for both players. 12 for NEOSTAR and only 10 for Psosa. So NEOSTAR still can be aggressive out here with these mutas and keep Psosa back at home, and that could be what he needs here.
That being said, Psosa's upgrades on his Mutalisks are superior. Because the Mutalisks have a bounce attack, the armor upgrade counts 3 times, whereas the attack upgrade only really counts... The attack gets mitigated 3 times, so if you have higher armor, you're actually dealing more damage. It's a backwards concept, but the armor upgrade is nearly always superior unless you want to buy the cheaper upgrade to have more mutas.
Yeah,
and then it's only 1 more.
So with that, and on top of the fact that, as we expected, the Mutalisk count has actually exploded for Psosa, and he's got so many more mutas now. And actually, that's all it takes there. GG, 1-1 series.
Got our first 2-1. God damn.
Well, that's what we were kind of hoping for when it came to the round of 8, because the first round was a little bit one-sided here. So good to see some actual competition going down here.
Yeah, I wonder what the third map's going to be. I was still really gunning for that double Nidus Worm. That was going to make my day.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Oh well. Nimbus, that's interesting. Psosa is saying he's rusty with mutas. Ah, yeah, that looked very rusty. Great.
Well, he still made the right upgrades, and he like we were talking about the whole time. He managed to just grab the muta lead with the earlier third base, and then when he went and denied the third again for NEOSTAR, that was pretty much the nail in the coffin there.
I reckon it's going to be mutas again. I don't think that early aggression is going to happen much on this map, but I suppose we'll find out. It does take a little while for creep to get to the ramp with the rocks on, so that could be a reason for some early aggression. Find out. What are you hoping for?
I want to see an early pool. I want to see something similar to the name build, just some cheese pulled out of nowhere.
Yeah. That's the funny thing though, because this is like probably the most, or one of the most macro maps in the pool. You get a free natural, essentially. But because it's so economically focused, people would think you're going to use an economic build, so that's almost a good reason to cheese. So it's a bad map for cheese, I say lightly.
Yeah, it's really easy to block off that ramp with the rocks, as you were saying before. Alright, well, here we go. This is Game 3 in the round of 8 between these two players, and I'll start off by introducing, in the top right corner, the pink Zerg player just recently tied up the series 1-1 with some superior, just macro decisions. It's going to be the pink Zerg player, Psosa.
In the bottom left-hand corner. He's tied up now 1-1. Hopefully he's going to get his third or second win here. It's all in NEOSTAR.
And so far, besides Mr. Lando, one of the only and Quang, I suppose, one of the only guys I've seen in person be able to put enough pressure on Psosa to actually cause him to lose a game. So, this is his chance here. He needs to make some big plays in this game if he wants to move ahead. And you know what? It's all uphill from here. Even if he does manage to beat Psosa, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. So let's see if NEOSTAR can do it.
Going to have full information early on. His drone scout's going cross, and he's going to scout. Psosa is in fact going for the hatch first. Just like NEOSTAR is also going for the hatch first. So we are going to see the economic game here.
Yeah, definitely.
Or the economic opening, shall I say.
You pretty much have to take hatch first on Nimbus. At least that's how I feel. Because you know your opponent is most likely going to be doing something very similar.
So we also see gas before pull from Psosa here. So that's going to give him very quick Zergling speed off of this hatch first opening. So that'll give him the option to be, again, aggressive if he chooses to, but also going to have a fast Baneling Nest as well. And the same opening as well for NEOSTAR.
Yeah.
NEOSTAR's effectively, because he's got this drone scout in here, he's like, okay, what are you doing? Gas? Okay, I'll do a gas. Pool? Okay, I'll do a pool.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's going to have the same resources at his disposal as Psosa has. So the openings are mirrored, which is going to be very good for being defensive if you want.
Yeah, definitely. And again, you got to give the edge to NEOSTAR, at least early on here with that drone scout. He knows what Psosa is doing, where Psosa doesn't really know what's going on for NEOSTAR yet. Although he has chosen the build that's going to easily defend, or that's going to give him the best option for defense anyway, against pretty much whatever NEOSTAR decides to do. So fairly even, but yeah. I just like I like the fact that NEOSTAR has that information for sure.
Me too. There was a little bit of a hiccup in the build order of NEOSTAR. He forgot the Overlord on 17, so his queens are going to be later than Psosa's. Not sure how that's going to affect the game, but we will find out.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
His queens aren't going to be that. They're not going to be as nicely lined up as Psosa's will be. That's for sure. And that just causes, you know, whether it's right away or whether it's a little bit down the line, there's going to be some sort of at least queen inject flaw there. But were you mentioning the Baneling bust or the Baneling Nest here by NEOSTAR?
The hopefully Baneling bust in your eyes, apparently, yeah. So we have the Baneling Nest and the Roach Warren coming down. So both players have the option to be aggressive, probably more likely NEOSTAR in this scenario. It's going to be a case of what do they build off of this next round of lava. Because both people aren't built. Oh, here we go. NEOSTAR's droning. And Psosa, he's got supply for roaches. I think he's going to make roaches. Gone up to extra overlords here. And he's pulled off of gas as well. So yeah, this is...
We've seen
a heavy all-in from Psosa.
And I've seen him do it before as well, where he makes a whole bunch of roaches, usually about 8 to 9 or 10, and then he sticks his lings right on the roaches and moves across the map, and then just hits with a really heavy attack here. Now looks like he's going to keep these roaches back and hide them from the sight of NEOSTAR here. And yeah, it's definitely going to be an all-in attack, but it's going to be a very hard-hitting one.
But then NEOSTAR is also doing the same thing. He's streaming links across the map as well.
So in this case,
this is really...
it's going to be good. It's going to be good for sure. NEOSTAR sees the roaches now with the Overlord. Now, I wonder what he's going to do. Is he going to fall back and defend with these roaches, or is he just going to move his Banelings up the ramp here?
I have absolutely no idea. I think I would counterattack with the Banelings and pull my Zerglings at home. But this is going to get really weird. There's a ton of stuff going to go on in the middle of the map. The Banelings are going to go for the counterattack, and the Zerglings are running around the map trying to tow Psosa's lings away. But these roaches are going to do a lot of damage.
The queens are getting in position for these Banelings here in Psosa's base. A couple of Banelings sneaking in here.
Oh, that split. Oh my god.
It was a nice split, but it still did a lot of damage. Back in NEOSTAR's base, though, the roaches and lings are doing some crazy damage here. Look at the workers lost. Oh my god, Psosa has killed 16 drones. This is way in his favor now. But there are lots of lings on the map now for NEOSTAR, and they're going to clear up at least the roaches in his own base. But he's got 6 drones left. Psosa has 20.
This is going to be one hell of a comeback if NEOSTAR pulls this off. I think he has a slight lead in army supply right now, but Psosa is also floating like 24 lings in his bank, so he can It might be a close hold at first, but I think Psosa has this one in the bag.
Yeah, and he threw... the Banes didn't do that much.
I would agree.
A lot of them got picked off, too, by Lings that were just sort of reinforcing Lings for Psosa. Love the hold position on the ramp here. He's going to buy some time for a couple roaches to get out, and that's all he really needs at this point. He's got guys back in gas. He's going to be able to pump out, a few roaches here and there, and eventually he's going to be able to clean up all these Lings.
Yeah, he's even thrown down the Spine Crawler too. Psosa knows he's ahead, and he's just saying, how can I lose this game? Maybe if a Baneling gets a money shot, he can lose. And that being said...
that was pretty close. These Banelings are getting in there. Oh my god, they're missing... I don't know, I would have detonated them by now. That wasn't the best detonation there. But all the Lings are down. And we're going to get a couple drone kills here, but the Roaches and the Spine Crawlers, and the Queens as well, yeah, that's about it here. What did he get here? He got maybe 2 extra drones there. Oh my god, yeah, NEOSTAR only has 3 drone kills, and so those Banelings definitely did absolutely nothing. I thought they would have got a couple drones, but it looks like barely anything.
So both players are like punching each other in the face right now with this aggression. They are so battered and bruised, and both players are really low on supply, and it's interesting, do they think the other player is also really low on supply? Because if we look at the drone counts, they're starting to even up, and yeah, 13 versus 20 is obviously like 50% extra drones for Psosa, but if we add 5 minutes on of droning, that's a 6 drone difference. Maybe like 60 against 66. That's not so bad if both players just chill out and go back to droning again.
Yeah, we'll have to see what kind of decision Psosa makes here, because he's the one who's sort of going to dictate what happens, given the fact that he's in the lead. It looks like he's going to focus on droning up, and that's the thing. Yeah. If he drones up with NEOSTAR, then he's gonna at least maintain the same lead he had before.
Yeah, I think for NEOSTAR, he was in a obviously behind position, as dramatic as that counterattack was, and I think what I would have done is hope that Psosa doesn't counterattack and try and drone as hard as you can, because it's that awkward position as a Zerg where, my economy sucks and my army's worse than his. I need to rectify both of these problems, but I can only do one of them.
Yeah.
That is really painful to be in.
Well, he's doing the best he can here. He's got some Lings and Banelings over by the Watchtower, so he at least has that vision, as well as Overlord's in pretty good position. Psosa has dropped the 3rd down, and something worth noting, though, this whole time, NEOSTAR was only on 1 Queen, and Psosa actually has 2, so his production is going to be that much better than NEOSTAR's, and we can see that in the supply here.
I think NEOSTAR's last chance in this game is going to be, can he attempt to punish Psosa for taking a hatchery that's quicker than NEOSTAR's? And that's a difficult thing to pull off as well. I don't know if NEOSTAR's going to be able to. He is making some roaches now. He's going to try one final, probably some variant of roach Baneling, maybe, but he's throwing down an Evo as well.
Yeah, and also, let's see.
Sure.
Well, both players don't have roach speed, so that's not too bad, but we do have +1 already about halfway done for Psosa. He's got enough roaches to defend any amount of Lings or Banelings, and, well, I suppose not any amount, but any amount that NEOSTAR could muster up right now. The only way I see for NEOSTAR is if he managed some sick micro plays and stretched his Lings across the map to try to bring Psosa back home.
I think he will win this fight.
Oh, he's running away. He's going to run back to some reinforcements.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this anymore for NEOSTAR. He's trying to go into a macro roach game, but Psosa is already doing that better than him because he has a 3rd base and he has +1 nearly finishing. I think he needed to do something else. Try and salvage the game. It was already looking pretty dire earlier on, but he will win this fight here.
Yeah, we do have some good focus fire micro going down by NEOSTAR here, but now there's more reinforcements for Psosa, and with +1 just about to finish here, it's going to be a very uphill battle for NEOSTAR.
Yeah, and Psosa's roach speed is coming down the line too, so once that finishes, he's going to be able to pick all the fights he wants. He can say, okay, you can't retreat from any fights, I can. I'm going to be as aggressive as I want, and if I slightly overextend, I can pull back for free. Because I have roach speed and you don't.
Yeah, exactly. And NEOSTAR in that awkward position where he doesn't really have enough gas to supply as much roaches as he wants, so he has to make lings. And you just, when you're in a roach-on-roach battle, you just feel, like, I always feel so inefficient when I'm making lings because it just, you know they're just going to run in there and die. And you might get 1 or 2 roaches for them, but it's not worth it in the end. But what are you going to do?
It's kind of a weird thing to say. They do play the role of the tank in that scenario, even though they only tank a couple of roach shots.
Yeah. And Psosa, I like this. Taking down the rocks here, he's going to open up that ramp and allow himself to more space to run up there. Again, see banelings here. Like, I don't really know. Like, the banelings are most likely just going to run into the roaches and die.
That is the job of the banelings, run into stuff and die.
Yeah, I guess so. But you know what I mean. I didn't think it was going to do enough damage to really be worth the gas. I'd rather a few more roaches.
I think at this stage, the longer this goes on, the worse it gets for NEOSTAR. He has to do something, and Psosa knows that, so he's just waiting.
Yeah, exactly. So all the banelings explode, not 1 roach goes down, and then now there's only a couple more. GG by NEOSTAR. A little bit of passion there, a little upset he wasn't able to close out the series, but Psosa's Psosa, man. He's going to come back from those situations more times than not. But I gotta say, that was an amazing series. I loved it. I love seeing the competition there. 2-1 for Psosa, and well played. Do you have anything to add to that series before we take a break?
I think it's more the second game was when NEOSTAR had the potential to win as well, but he needed to get the third. As I was saying, it's about the third base and the armor upgrade over the attack upgrade.
Right.
The third base is the most important thing, and he lost his. And everything snowballs from there. You have to just work and work and work on defending your third base and pressuring his third base. And even if you make units that are defending your third base from nothing, because he's not pressuring, you can use your units that you made for defense to pressure his third base.
Yeah, exactly. And that's when it just turns into that back and forth type of game that I love to see. So... great game by both guys there. It was a lot of fun to cast, and I'm not sure who we're going to cast next. It looks like we have everybody, I believe. So I'm just going to throw it up to the players, see who wants to go next. We're going to take a short break, maybe about 5 minutes while we get that all sorted up, and then Stark and I will be right back.
Testing.